Tonight's guest on Love Noise is Kimberly Meyer. She's a Nebraska-born singer-songwriter, Army bandmaster, and Hall of Fame inductee known for powerhouse vocals and heartfelt storytelling. We'll talk new releases, life on the road, and service in the 147th Army Band. Stick around. This is one you don't want to miss. This program is part of the Scene Project's podcast network. The Scene Project features interviews with independent musicians, comedians, and artists from across the Midwest. Become part of our community and support local art wherever you are. Well, welcome into another exciting episode of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Startz, and this is Love Noise, our weekly live show here on YouTube and others where we feature independent artists, we feature some of their songs, and we get to talk with them. Our co-host, Willie, will be joining us a little bit later, but I'm going to bring on our very special guest right now, Miss Kimberly Meyer. Kimberly, welcome back to The Scene Projects.
Hi, Bubba. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, and tonight's fun because we get to share some of your music and talk about all the exciting things that have happened since the last time we spoke. I don't even know that episode's come out yet, but you're hard to keep up with.
I wondered if I missed it or
There's so many now.
You've been busy. It's okay.
There's so many. I know. Honestly, and especially after the Josie Music Awards 2 weeks ago now, or 10 days ago, we could do an episode every day, I feel like, and not run out of content anytime soon. It's been a surreal couple of weeks, and I know that you feel that as well. Talking a little bit off camera, I think I'm busy, and then I talk to you, Kimberly, and I feel like I'm standing still.
We're just living the dream. That's what it is. But yeah, the Josie Awards, that looked really fun.
It was a blast. It was a blast. And I'm really getting used to that red carpet atmosphere and finding that I thrive in it. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I mean, I did pretty much 3.5 hours of straight interviews. Just kept on going, talking to people. I had to have talked to probably over 100 people. I have my little autograph book to keep track. They didn't realize that they were helping me keep track of all the people that I had done, because there was no way. I mean, other than like one of the bus counters, right? That I'm sure you have to use when you're herding cats in the band, right? To make sure everybody makes it on the bus. Beyond that, I don't know how you would keep track of what we did. It was just a revolving door of independent musicians, and what a joy. What a joy to not just experience the Grand Ole Opry and the awards show, but to really be a part of the show. And that's what it's what I've always craved, without having to get up on stage and perform, right? My performance happens kind of, as a sideshow almost, right? And I think the low pressure of that, even though the tape is rolling the whole time, it's just that there's such rapid fire that it really, it's my lane, right? People say stay in your lane. Well, I didn't really know where that lane was until now. And I feel really good about doing more and more of that kind of content in the future, even as far as, kind of putting it out there publicly. But wild times. What'd you do for Halloween, Kimberly?
I sat in the dark in my house hiding. That's what I did.
Yeah, that sounded nice. I was on Broadway, so the darkness of my own dwelling sounded quite nice.
I didn't want to be bothered. I had drill the next week, that weekend. So yeah, it was my one day at home, and so I just wanted people to leave me alone.
Well, and I guess we're kind of jumping over a lot for people that are just joining us and are new to you. Why don't you go ahead and just, give us a short recap of kind of what you do. Obviously still active military. And that's why I thought this timing was awesome too. Just being the day after Veterans Day now. Thank you for your service, Kimberly, always to, not just our country, but to our music community. You're very dedicated to a lot of things, and it's commendable at the very least.
Sure. I appreciate that. Yeah. And you are one of the biggest supporters of our military. That's obvious to see through all the things that you do and the posts you put out. And so I appreciate that. I see you. But to answer your question, yes, I am in my 15th year of service in the South Dakota Army National Guard. I enlisted as a clarinetist out of college. I was a clarinet performance major and realized that's kind of not the smartest
pretty
move.
Niche.
Entered freak out mode in my senior year. Like, what am I going to do with this degree now in the Midwest? But it ended up being one of the best decisions, meeting other musicians and using that theory and knowledge and background. And it just made me a well-rounded musician. But anyway, joined the military as a clarinetist and also sang and played in the unit's country rock band and did that for 12 years. And then just in 2012, I had the opportunity to take over command of the unit, which I did. I went through Warrant Officer School and now I'm the Army bandmaster for the 147th and have been in that role for 3 years, and we'll see how long we're in that role. But I at least need to get to my 20 years, so round out my my service that way.
Have there been other female bandmasters? Just gonna jump in. Hi, Willie.
Hi.
Wow. Yeah.
There have been, yes. It's kind of an uncommon thing, but it's becoming more common. I'm the first one for the 147th in history of that unit. And it's pretty amazing if you think about it, because the previous commander, he was in that role for 24 years. So yeah, there's not a lot of movement in my unit because it's such a close-knit group and we love our jobs and nobody wants to go anywhere. It's one of the best kept secrets in the military. That job is just wonderful. To be able to give back to your country through music and serve the people in that regard.
Right. Well, and that's what I always found so interesting, and people will hear it when, we went a lot more in depth on our interview about it, but I had not realized that you were the first female bandmaster of this unit. That's pretty awesome, Kimberly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for a short time, when I first took command, the first sergeant, which is the highest enlisted person in our unit, she was also female. So, and our readiness NCO was female. So basically the whole unit was being run by females. It was kind of a crazy, eye-opening, amazing time in our history. So
yeah, a rarity to say the least, and really awesome to be a part of that history, right? Even if it's for a brief time as people are shuffled around and, leaving or retiring or, changing commands or whatever it might be, even for that short period of time is really awesome that you were the one of three, right, that got to experience that. And obviously there's probably others, but our military being obviously so dominated by male, officers and just, participation in general, that you're a rare breed and in a rare position in life as well. So really awesome stuff there. Willie, meet my friend Kimberly. Kimberly, my co-host Willie.
Nice to meet you.
You as well.
Sorry I'm late. I got off work late, so I come straight here from work. So.
No problem.
Yep. Well, Willie, any questions for Kimberly before we get into some music?
I guess, and I asked this on my show, how'd you get into music?
Oh, how did I get into music? Well, I've been immersed in music my entire life. It was something that chose me, I think. As far back as I remember, I was singing and playing instruments and taking piano lessons at a young age. But as far as taking it more seriously in regards to writing and recording, that was a more recent venture, I would say, in 2020. I think that's probably a common answer for a lot of us when the world shut down. And I ended up quitting my job. I worked as a clerk in a music store, and I taught piano lessons, and but had the time at home to write and be creative and do my own research as an independent artist, and just do something that I had always pushed to the wayside for many, many years. So that's about when I took it seriously. And now I've been going full force, putting out new singles all the time since then. It seems like.
Right on. And thank you for your service.
Appreciate that. Thank you for the support.
Yeah, your new banner looks really good back there, Willie.
I know. I was excited about it. I ain't gonna lie. As soon as I got it up, unfortunately, it's got to come down next week. So fingers crossed next week I get into the new house. So.
Well, we are happy for you. I know it's been a lot of, I'm not the only one who's had plenty of changes happening around us. It seems like the whole crew and the whole world is dealing with a lot of change and unexpected changes and crazy travel plans. And I don't know the half of it. I told Kimberly earlier, Willie, that it's like, I feel busy until I talk to you. And then I feel like I'm standing still. But
what, talk to me?
No, to Kimberly.
If it's you're way busier than me. Don't know.
So we've been traveling this country like crazy.
Yeah. I think the first song that I want to get into is Music City Miseries. So
Okay.
I'd love for you to give us a little bit of backstory on that. And I'll kind of get this all pulled up.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is my latest release. And it's probably my favorite at this moment. So Music City Miseries, that title came from just a conversation between myself and my one of my late previous producers. We did a kind of a classic country feeling CD only release. So you can't find those songs anywhere except for on CD, or I play them live. But anyway, so I would say 25% of the time in the studio we were recording, and the rest of the time we were just talking about life and all these things. And I was kind of going through a hard time, relationships, and things were failing, and I was really just kind of struggling inside. And he was telling me about his time in Nashville, when he lived in Nashville, and writing songs for like Waylon Jennings and hanging out with Willie Nelson and, living the dream, right? But his marriage was failing, and divorce, and, kids and all that. And that's the kind of things that people don't see from the outside and looking in. And we as artists and creatives are chasing this dream and, letting the music dictate our lives. And I just came to this realization that, hey, I'm here now. I made my choice to follow these dreams. And, we're struggling. It's really not as glitzy and glammy as it seems. And a lot of people tell me, oh, it's wonderful to see you making it in the music business. But we know it's a struggle. We know the truth, right? And so that's what this song is about. But anyway, Jim Casey was his name. And he just said, yep, that's just Music City Miseries. And I said, Jim, I'm writing that down. And I saved that for 3 years after he passed and everything. And I took it to my current production team. And I said, hey, I really want to make something out of this. And we sat down and we co-wrote it in one afternoon and did some rough tracks of it in one day. And the song was born, and I love it. So
awesome. Well, we're going to jump into it right now. So this is Music City Miseries by Kimberly Meyer.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, a perfect illusion that isn't there at all. What you see is not enough to paint the whole picture that's drawn up in the dust. A false reality that's glaring back at me. Step by step, right there, dragging these bags along the way, chasing them things the heart's too blind to see. Damn this God-forsaken day, bending off the walls of gray, fighting to keep a piece of me, losing what I'll never need. These Music City miseries. Getting lost in a maze, playing with delusion, but this life is not a game. This desire becomes a vice. Oh, when did we forget that it's all inside our minds? A false reality still glaring back at me. Step by step, the price to pay, dragging these bags along the way, chasing them things the heart's too blind to see. Damn this God-forsaken day, bending off the walls of gray, fighting to keep a piece of me, losing what I'll never need. These Music City miseries. And don't tell yourself that it's all okay. You need to save her all. You're painting a plastic smile Step by step, the price to pay, dragging these bags along the way, chasing them things the heart's too blind to see. Damn this God-forsaken day, bending off the walls of gray, fighting to keep a piece of me, losing what I'll never need. Step by step, the price to pay, dragging these bags along the way, chasing them things the heart's too blind to see. Yeah. Damn this God-forsaken day, bending off the walls of gray, fighting to keep a piece of me, losing what I'll never need. These Music City miseries.
Nice. Yeah, a lot to be proud of there.
what'd you think?
Great little song. I like your growl in the you get a little bit of a growly nature to you in the choruses there. I really like that.
It's very catchy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It's nice to make things that you can be proud of, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's happened to you, but back in 2009 when we were making our first record, and I just everything's always been rushed. I've always just kind of wanted to just to go to do it and not necessarily to do it right. And I ended up with things that I just wasn't really proud of at the end of the day. And I have an old record that we did, Transgressions, where it's just like I could redo every single thing on there, right? And we spent a lot of time and a lot of money to do it, but didn't do it right. And we didn't know what we didn't know, right? So I mean, there was nothing we could have really done differently because it was our first time doing it. But
Sure.
I didn't get to really, the songs didn't get the treatment they deserved, right? At the end of the day, they could have been a lot better. So I think that's probably why it took, 15 years for a new album to come out. I feel like on this time where it took me a year, right? I tracked him at one time and I wasn't rushing it. It happened when it happened, and that was just the way that it was going to be. So,
well, if you love it, you can always redo them,
Well, and that's kind of, I had a lot of stuff that didn't get recorded. Most of these songs that I record, they're not new songs. I mean, the one I wrote for my wife, Danielle, and I guess Drifter, I wrote 7-8 years ago, but some of these songs are teenagers, right? Like it wasn't, it was more of just like, I have to get them out and I have to get all this other music out of me to feel like I can make space for writing new material and for bringing some of this stuff out. And maybe that's not true, right? Maybe I should just keep writing and some of these songs really weren't worth a crap anyway. Yeah, I don't know.
I know what
you never really know. you never really know what I heard. I had an interview recently with Ray Starr on the show, and Ray's been around the music industry. He's working on a show with NBC right now, and he's done a lot of things, but he recounted, meeting a big record executive way back in the day. Guy wrote, "Oh Lord, Won't You Buy Me a Mercedes-Benz" for Janis Joplin back in the day, and was a part of Hit Records. And he's like, his big thing was, you don't know what's going to be a hit and what's not going to be a hit. You think you got something that's going to be the next big thing. Yeah. And then it falls on its face. And then you have something that you think is a throwaway and it becomes the biggest hit in the world. So maybe I should not be so hard on myself and try to get, 5 songs out every 5 years, and eventually we'll make it.
Yeah. Well, I haven't made it yet, but that reminds me of Black Perfume. That was one previous to Music City Miseries that I didn't at first share with my production team. They're like, what, give me some songs and that you would want to record. And I sent them a whole bunch of them, right? And then I didn't send that one because I thought it was too weird, too different, and obscure thinking. But then one night I said, well, I'll just send it, see what they think. And that was the one that they liked. So we actually recorded that one. But yeah, you're right. You never know what's going to catch and what isn't, and what people are going to latch onto or not. And I'm the overthinker. I'm opposite of you. And I'm a perfectionist. So I will sit on things for years.
I overthink too. He gets onto me all the time for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
somebody needs to get on me about just acting impulsively. So I need to figure out how to blend our personalities a little bit more.
We'd be in trouble. That is absolutely a song that I would love to have to play when I DJ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's got a good energy to it.
Oh yeah.
By all means.
I may have to
anywhere.
I may have to get it from Bubba.
Yeah, I got him. Well, and we'll have him playing on the Queen Project's radio as well here in the future. All the songs that are featured here on Love Noise go straight over into the radio station and can be played. And that's kind of the joy about having our friends on for these, is it's a good excuse to get the MP3 sent to us, and then we can repurpose them over there too. And then you never know who's listening. And right now it's such a weird time, because like now we know we have something really good. We know that it's helping on a small scale. It's helping people. Some artists are getting discovered, not necessarily too big, but they're getting discovered by new people, right? And we're about to see over the course of the next year a massive influx of new fans that are going to be listening to all these artists and tuning in to all the things that we do. And I won't be able to tell people that nobody's watching anymore, right? And I think that's a big part of our next 6 months is that we're about to explode in the audience size, and where we've been able to kind of, I don't know, to take some chances, right? And to pretend like nobody's listening because you're in a bar that only has 3 people at it. But then knowing that our time in the sun, you know, especially when you spend a weekend hanging out at the Grand Ole Opry, you're like, oh, we're here now, right? Like world that we're living in now, and we need to get used to people paying a lot of attention to us. And I don't think it changes anything of our process, but it's now that's a conscious part of the thinking now, where it's like, oh, these are the stages and these are the award shows and the different things that we have not necessarily like phone call access to yet, but we're right there. And it was an eye-opening week in Nashville for sure.
I bet it was.
I'm a little jealous.
I can only imagine the energy that was in that.
Oh, and I Broadway for my first time was on Halloween night.
Oh boy.
So I just like stuck the camera in the air and walked around and I couldn't even process everything. We had traveled down. We arrived at like 6 a.m. that morning, driving down on this old tour bus. We were told was owned by George Jones.
Yeah, I saw
Whether
that.
it was or not, we never got confirmation. I've only heard one person dissenting that. Maybe they're jealous like Willie. So
I love you too, buddy. I love you.
Yep.
Too.
Yeah, like that's not George Jones. I know George Jones's bus. That's not him. Like whatever, man. It's a really nice tour bus, and I got to hang out on it for a week. So whether it was or wasn't didn't really matter to me. It was a warm bed to sleep in, honestly, is what it came down to, and a beautiful space to host some interviews. But kind of looking around at the life and going, you know, okay, we can do this. I could have much less comfortable accommodations and still be very, very happy doing what I was doing, getting to connect with so many artists and, you know, watching my friends step on that historic stage. But beyond that, I mean, I got to work a racing kickoff party event for the American Speed Association All-Stars. They had a race in town that weekend. I got some friends, shout out to El Bandito Yankee Tequila, that were in town. We're like, hey man, we got this party going on. And I kind of barged my way in a little bit and was like, I'm going to interview racers and do all this. And they were happy to have me. But one funny moment that happened, like walking down the stairs. So I do a mix of country and rock stuff. And we were at Kid Rock's bar, which is kind of a perfect situation for me anyway. I literally heard 3 of my songs on my set. In my opening 5 songs, I heard 3 of them going from level to level to level. So I heard Fishing in the Dark on the 3rd floor. I got to What I Got on the 2nd floor. And then when I got to the bottom, they were doing a mashup of Steve Miller's The Joker and the Shaggy version of Angel. And it was just like, that's insane. Because those are literally in my set list. Those are in order right there. And I was like, I think the band might be built for Nashville and playing those, but not doing these 4. I watched this band play for 4 hours straight. No breaks, no, just hammered from 6 to 10. And I was like, I'm not built for that. I'm not even switching off singers and like, I don't want that life. I don't think. I don't. Nope. I'm good. Very happy with the lane I'm in now, Kimberly.
Same. Yeah. It's overwhelming. And I had that same vibe when I visited Nashville the first time too. It's like, you know, it's cool to see and all, but playing, you know, for, I don't know, I shouldn't go down that road, but the minimal pay and, you know, playing for tips and, you know, you can throw a rock at somebody that's more talented than you. And it's just a lot to take in.
Yeah. Well, and you become a minnow, right? And where we're pretty big deals where we come from.
Yeah,
right?
I like being a big fish in a little pond.
Yeah, you know what? I like that. I have found that I'm very comfortable in that role. Do I like to go and be in the school of fish sometimes and to throw myself into that? Yeah, it was a blast,
Yeah.
right? It was fun. It was nice to see how, my set list or a performance here or there may stack up. Could I do that
Yeah. And
one
you
night?
grow that
Could
way.
I go have one night and perform on Broadway? Yes, I could do that. Could I
Mhm.
do that 7 nights a week like some of these bands are doing? Hell no. No, I'm not built for that. Maybe I was at one point in my life. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I was ever built for that.
Mhm.
It's a lot. It's a lot for all of these, all of these people that are going out there, and some of them are doing fairly well for themselves, right? But they're also playing 7-8 hours a day,
Mhm.
and they're out there grinding from 6 until 2 in the morning, and that's not counting all the practice and the rehearsals. Like it's a wild scene. It never made me more happy to return to South Dakota and the bar gigs. And I always caution our younger artists who come on with us, and a lot of us get jaded from the 9 to 1 bar gigs that pay the bills and keep you on the road. Is like, man, cherish those, because it could be a lot worse, because in a lot of areas you're not making any money and you're working just as hard for it. So take it all with a grain of salt and a big heaping of gratefulness.
Well, that's the thing. Nowadays, people think they don't need to hire a musician or anything because they have technology. They can play it from an app. And, unfortunately, especially for me and being a DJ, you can go to Walmart, spend $100 on a big speaker, and people think I don't need a DJ these days. So, and people don't want to pay.
Well, you already alluded to the song, Kimberly, so I'm going to have you tell us a little bit more about Black Perfume before we play that one next.
Okay. So this one, like a lot of my songs, kind of blends genres. It's kind of hard to pinpoint, how to really describe it, but it's moody, it's dark, fitting because it came to me in a dream. It actually woke me up, and I thought, well, that was weird. I had this vision of a lady just dressed in black. I don't know who she was or where she came from, but she was standing in the middle of the road, and I will never forget the blank stare in her eyes, just trying to kind of block the way as her man was trying to leave. And it's kind of a different way of thinking about yourself when somebody doesn't want to be with you. A lot of people would be like, yeah, get out of my life, right? Or be angry or whatever. But no, this woman was so introspective and wondering what it is that she could have done, or could she be more like his other lover? What could she change about herself instead? And so it's talking about, would you want me more if I wore that same black perfume, that scent that told all the truth?
What a deep song. I'm looking forward to this.
Like sparkling stars.
Very nice. Really showing off the vocal chops on that one.
Yeah. I was gonna say, can you tell I like to have fun with my with my range and the background vocals? That's all me.
Yeah, it's incredible. Incredible stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's easy. It's easy to lose that sometimes when you're writing like this rock country, unless you're Carrie Underwood and you're really belting songs out, that it's really easy to lose good singers in that world, right? You end up making songs about drinking and partying all the time, and it just kind of, yeah, that was good. It gave me it gave me New Orleans vibes, some Fleetwood Mac type feel.
I get that a lot.
To it. Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it. Willie, what'd you think?
Just as amazing as the last one. I mean, I love the range you brought to the table. I mean,
thank you. Yeah, that one I got to be free.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
No, and you talked about how that one wasn't really something that you were even going to bring to the table for that session. What was it finally that was just like, I'm going to send it, and I'm just going to let it ride?
I don't know. I don't know. Something came over me and just like, I was sitting here in the dark. Like, whatever, let's just see what happens. Didn't think about it anymore. Like, let's just see what they think.
Right. Now, did you kind of have all the parts written out in your head already? Did you have demo versions made before you sent them, or was it just the words essentially?
No, I usually just send lyrics, and the guitar part is what I had for this one. So I'm just strumming my little guitar part and singing, and then I send a chord and lyric sheet. And from that, the producer is very intuitive. He can get a good sense of the feel that I was looking for. And when he sent me a mix back, I was like, yep, you got it. This is perfect. Even down to, that double time chorus and the halftime feel in the bridge. And then, you got the tambourine. It's very dark, but yet very interesting. So yeah, I think they did a great job with it.
Yeah, and talk about that process a little bit, because that's not necessarily how I create music. I don't have a producer or anything that I'm working with in those. I mean, I'm kind of executive producing most stuff. Even when I go and perform it with a band, I'm kind of bringing it to them going, this is the way that I want you to play it. There's some artistic freedom given to these super talented music. I didn't tell Johnny Hastings how to play the guitar, right? Yeah. It was more of like, here's the song. You kind of know what to do, but this is the feel that we're going for. Yeah. Talk about that relationship as a songwriter, and then having a producer that's kind of taking your baby, right? This thing that you've kind of brought to at least this point, and then letting that go to be like, do you know these people very well before you're sending them this stuff? I feel I'm very protective of my song, so it freaks me out to even think about just sending them off to someone.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We've done, several songs together, so we're building that relationship, and we're, getting a good feel for what my style is. But no, I always have a pretty good sense of what I want the song to sound like and what instrumentation I want to be in there. And it's always led by the song. I let it, kind of evolve itself. I don't try to force anything. I hear things in my head, and I think, okay, I want like mandolin on this or whatever, or I'll be listening to other songs and putting them in a separate playlist so that I can use them as references. So, for example, I'll say, okay, I want the guitar tone to sound like this in this song. And then I want, the mandolin to sound like this in this song, or I want this kind of feel or beat. And from that, they can always deliver. So I've been pretty happy with how it's turned out. The more you can give them direction, the better. Otherwise, you're going to come out with something that's you're not happy with. And I've done that before in the past, where I was like, here's the song lyrics and the chords, figure it out, and then it's not what I want. So you have to know what you want. And
so you've had to learn how to achieve the results that you want to get in your career now as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You have to know what you want and be able to articulate it and set these little mini goals. And that's something that I've been thinking a lot about. You have these goals, but you have to set yourself little mini goals along the way to get to where you want to be ultimately. So knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, working the Grand Ole Opry was never even on my big board of shit to do. And then before you know it, you're there and you're like, well, what's the next step? Like, are we applying for CMA award credentials next? And the Grammys after that? And, yeah, but honestly, it's still being such a new podcaster. I didn't even call myself a podcaster for the first year pretty much that we did it. And then I think winning the Content Creator of the Year award was finally like, okay, well, you should probably start taking this seriously. If other people are now looking at you as, a quote unquote authority in the field, which I'm starting to take more ownership of. I wrote a book about it now. And we have our platforms and our things are doing very well. So it's just a weird time. Like a year ago, we weren't even on YouTube, right? Like, I mean, it was there, but I wasn't driving anyone to YouTube to watch the show. And now we're pretty much like exclusively in that. We're on all the podcast forums, but most of our views come from YouTube. We just passed 300,000 views on there since March while I was in Nashville. So like, I can't keep saying that nobody's watching, right? I guess that's kind of like I'm having the realization to myself now that's like, oh, people are watching and paying attention, and they're starting to follow the show and becoming fans. We haven't had fans like Renee in our midst for very long, so that's having someone that's tuning in with us every single week and is engaging with the artist and engaging with us is a very new thing.
Yeah, I want to shout out to Renee. I saw the compliment. Thank you.
Yeah, she's with us every week. I don't know how she puts up with me and Willie, to be perfectly honest. I say the same things about my wife all the time too. I don't know how I got so lucky, but it's important to me now to like make sure that we're serving that audience, right? And I don't know that I was ever making, like I was telling you about my album, like nobody asked for this album. Nobody, like, I haven't really even been playing that much this year because we've been so focused on the podcast that like I don't have rabid starts and ends fans that are like, oh, when are you coming out with something new? It's pretty much like I pop in when I'm there and then I pop out just as fast.
Be careful what you wish for. I'm gonna start hounding you for that stuff.
It was important to me to get some of these old songs out and to let them see the light of day. And, now Diami, who played bass on the record, is now playing in Judd Hoos. So I don't know that I'll ever get a chance to work with him again. Those boys are going to keep him plenty busy. And so it was kind of the EP itself becomes like a little time capsule almost as well. And it's been, it's just been a wild run. I'm getting into my reflective stage, maybe in life, but also in the year where it's like it's finally starting to temper out and slow down a little bit. And it's been a hell of a year. And it's been a hell of a year for you as well. I can't let you go the whole interview without talking a little bit about your bodybuilding career as well. And sharing a little bit about that. Now, you've done a couple of competitions this year, correct?
I have. Yep, I've done 2. And not really a career. It's a hobby. It's something that I enjoy doing in a weird way. It keeps my mind somewhat active on, something else other than the stressors of life and the music and the military and things like that. But yeah, I've been competing since 2016. So this is my 9th year. And I went last year, I won my pro card at the end of October, November, something like that. Yeah, October. So this year was my pro debut, and this is obviously in a natural federation. I'm not a huge bodybuilder. I'm in the bikini division, and so yeah, it's something that I enjoy doing, and I'm a competitive person by nature. So
We can see the veins popping out of your biceps while
which is
you're just
amazing because I've
calm
been
down.
eating like crazy. Like, just hang on, guys.
Now, have you, I mean, obviously your physical fitness is important to you just with your military career probably, but you said you've been competing since 2016 and taking the, the bodybuilding portion of it, I would say fairly seriously, even if it's just a
Yeah.
hobby. You spend
Yeah.
a lot of time in the gym and working on this and working on your poses. And now to see a little bit of that recognition on the pro stage,
Yeah.
does that further inspire you to kind of keep going and to keep getting better? Or is it more of like, okay, I've seen that, done that, and that's not necessarily going to be a part of, my future as, a career or anything. And that's like good enough? Or is this something that you'll see yourself continuing to pursue, as a professional now, for many years to come?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'll answer with yes. I started this out with the mindset of it was just a bucket list thing, because I've always admired, people with great bodies, great physiques, wondering if I could ever do it. I wouldn't, I liked sports growing up, but I was never great at it. And as a female, we always kind of struggle with self-image anyway. But it was just something that I wanted to work towards and not get last place when I tried it. And ended up getting second place my first show in the novice division. And, there's nothing more motivating than your own success. And so I kept chasing that until I, won. And, I would win here and there, but nothing really mattered until like this last one where I was able to do it in a show that was big enough to win me that pro status. And same thing this year. It was like, that feeling of, when you're going into high school, you're, well, let's say you're in 6th grade, right? And you're the top dog in the elementary. And then you go to junior high, 7th grade. This is in the little school that I grew up in. And then you're back down at the bottom. And then you work your way up in your 8th grade and you're the big dog again. And then 9th grade, you're knocked down as a freshman. You're the little dog. It was that feeling, I just wanted to not get last place and ended up doing really well. I got second place this last show at nationals in my federation. So I'm like, heck yeah, let's do it again. I didn't know if I was going to take a break or not, or if this was even for me anymore. And, there's a lot of self-doubt all the time in this sport because you're putting yourself out there, way out there for the world to see. You're judged up there, with little itty bitty bikinis, and it's like, oh my gosh. So we're all, it's a nerve-wracking experience being up there on stage, getting judged in that manner. It's a very personal type of judging environment, but yeah, it's motivating to say the least when you succeed in something like that. And I think you can probably think about that in your world too, when you start seeing the numbers climbing and, start seeing that success a little bit. And it's like, yep, let's keep going, see how far this can take us.
Right. And at some point, I think it becomes like, how do I serve others? And I could see you being a very good, I know that you have coaches in what you do, and I could see a career for you in the coaching. I know you do a lot of teaching in your music business. So it just seems like a fit that you would have later on when maybe you don't feel like competing anymore. I don't see you getting away from the motivational side of it. And to help other young women around and up through this thing. Not that there's a ton of women that are getting into it, but I got to imagine that anyone in your world is completely inspired as I am, watching you go through all the training and then to be rewarded, and recognized for those when you go to your competitions. It's inspiring.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because that is something that a lot of people don't see, but I get the personal messages, the private messages from people saying, hey, you inspired me. I'm going to the gym today. It's like, yes, that's exactly, do it for you, to feel better about yourself. And, you don't have to compete. But as long as you're doing something that helps others and inspires people to take, that first healthy step to becoming a better person, it makes it all worth it. And again, I think of music in that same way. It takes a lot for us musicians, putting our heart and soul in these songs and thinking it's not going anywhere. But if you touch just one person's life and it helps them through a tough situation or whatever, that's success to me. That makes it a lot more worth it as well.
Yeah, and I think I've been doing this for so long that I get a little jaded to some things like that, right? I get a little bit, and I live in a really small town where not a lot of people, like, everybody's already said all the nice things to me that they're going to say, right? I don't have to be showered, affection and adoration onto all the time. I don't necessarily need that, but it's nice to hear and to bring it into that. Like, I know that we're impacting the world with the podcast. It was really nice to put out music again to see what impact those songs are going to have on the world. Right. And I've kind of forgotten that part of it a little bit just over the years of doing it. And some of it, because it takes so much work that it kind of loses the luster of like, oh, I did this thing. Oh, I'm so proud of it. Where I'm like, yeah, I dropped an album this week. Like I put out so much content that this album and this collection of songs that I've worked on for a year. And I'm probably just a little bit tired from tour still, and that's affecting it a little bit. But I feel like, I shared them on YouTube and Facebook and everything. And I just don't, it doesn't have the same feeling to me, but I know that as it gets out there and people are responding to that I'll kind of get that juice from it again, right? Where it'll be like, oh yeah, that's why I started writing songs in the first place. And that's why I enjoy playing music live and doing all of these, putting in all of this work that we do, is because of the feeling that it gives someone else and not necessarily the feeling that it gives me.
See, that's the thing, is like, especially with me, I like being the part that I'm not so much a musician, but I do, and I help with sound. I don't think sometimes I sell myself short because I don't think I make a big enough impact. Well, the other day I actually had that kind of smacked in my face a little bit. One of the guys we ran sound for at Vibe Fest reached out to me and they're like, I need a sound guy. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, I'm sure, because I do. I think there's better people than me. So I
get that as well. And I think we all kind of struggle with that. Am I doing enough? Am I good enough all the time?
And that's
what imposter syndrome pretty bad.
And you talked about helping one person, and that's the thing. That's why I've almost quit doing my DJing as much, and I focus more on my podcasting because of that reason. Is I'd rather help one person through doing my podcast than DJing, because, you know, I'm there for 4 hours where I don't get to have real conversations with people. I mean, I talk to people, but there's no relationships being built.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kimberly, I know you have to write another speech tonight, so let's get into this last one. Last song we got dialed up tonight is Call Me Crazy, which I think everyone could call all three of us at this point.
Speak for yourself.
I'm always saying call me crazy because of the situations I put myself in. Let me use my last bodybuilding show as an example. Call me crazy, but I'm going to make some money back and book a show the night before when I should be sleeping, and didn't sleep at all that night. But I do it to myself. Call me crazy. I don't know, did a PT test in the military that morning, and then I'm going to go work out again at night because I have a bodybuilding show to get ready for and another gig that same night. Just burning the candle at both ends and the middle. And in a relationship sense, sometimes we get into situations where we know better. This person is toxic. I know that. I can see that. But I'm going to get into it anyway because I love them. You know, call me crazy, but I'm going to write your name over and over again, see how it fits with mine. There's a lyric in this song about that. But this song also kind of nods to my classic country upbringing, referencing Patsy Cline, Tammy Wynette, you know, those influences, but with a little Janice vibe and blending the genres again. And so I was signed to an independent label last year, United Republic, and they described this song in a way that it caught my ear, and I liked it. I said, if Aerosmith and Patsy Cline wrote a song together, this is this song. And it's kind of crazy. It's like a kind of a Joker and Harley Quinn situation again. So you got this good girl, and then you got the bad guy, and she just gets tangled up with him. And here we are. I'm going to be the light in the dark, and I'm going to fight for this thing, even though I know it's wrong, and it's going to end up in flames. Guess what? It did.
Spoiler alert.
Call me crazy.
Well, and with that, yeah. And with that, this is Call Me Crazy by Kimberly Meyer.
Uh-oh. Hold on. I sent you the wrong one. I sent you the backing track version. Can I email you super, super duper quick?
Yeah, no, we're going to make you sing it.
Yeah, on the spot.
Yep.
Oh,
with the delay.
I was all fired up too.
At least you recognize it.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
That's why we call you crazy.
Oh, man. Try this one. Check your email. That'll teach me to do this from my phone. You know, should be doing it from my computer.
Come on.
So I'll fill the dead space. Sometimes I use backing tracks for my solo shows. Sometimes, you know. So that's where this one came from.
No, and my friend Birdie had a discussion on her thing because she uses backing tracks for her show. And I just, at this point, I just don't care. Just can you get up there and play and sing something?
Yeah, I usually do.
Purists.
Sometimes when I'm in the bars and, you know, they've been drinking and it's, you know, midnight and they want to rock out, then I'll fire up some backing tracks and make it loud, but
turn it up to 11 and let her rip, huh?
yeah.
I like it.
Let her rip, Tater Chip.
I like it. All right. Now this is Call Me Crazy by Kimberly Meyer.
Call me crazy, but I call you the one. Old fashioned, but I got a wilder side. Tanya, Emmylou, Dolly, and Patsy Cline with a little Janice vibe. I can be soft, I can be sweet, I can be kind, I can be the devil in disguise. If you're a critter that bites, yeah. Well, I know what I want and I know how to get it. I got my red dot focused on you. Oh, I'm a giver when it's long gone. I'm a lover when it's all done. I'm a fighter when it can't be won. Call me crazy, but I call you the one. I'm a writer when the ink wells dry. I'm a lighter in the middle of the night. Line the pages with the name that isn't mine. Call me crazy, but I call you mine. You're a complicated soul, a little tortured, disordered, and a little out of control. Oh, you already know. Well, you can be rough, you can be tough, you can be smooth, but maybe I know the truth. See the real you. What people often say it takes two to tango. Well, now I'm tangled up with you. I'm a giver when it's long gone. I'm a lover when it's all done. I'm a fighter when it can't be won. Call me crazy, but I call you the one. I'm a writer when the ink wells dry. I'm a lighter in the middle of the night. Line the pages with the name that isn't mine. Call me crazy, but I call you mine. Do it halfway, it's all or nothing with me. Baby, you're gonna see that I got the fuse and you hold the match. Black powder cocktail, cooking up a batch to please, tease. I'll bring you to your knees. I'm a giver when it's long gone. I'm a lover when it's all done. I'm a fighter when it can't be won. Call me crazy, but I call you the one. I'm a giver when it's long gone. I'm a lover when it's all done. I'm a fighter when it can't be won. Call me crazy, but I call you the one. I'm a writer when the ink wells dry. I'm a lighter in the middle of the night. Line the pages with the name that isn't mine. Call me crazy, but I call you mine.
Yeah, I feel like that was accurately described by the label.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, which probably isn't always the case for a lot of things, but
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, there's a rock vibe to everything that you do, right? And then it feels like the banjo or the other, instruments kind of thrown in kind of make it country, but yeah, you're a lot more rock and roll than I think people give you credit for. At least that I have maybe in the past.
That one's my favorite. I'm just going to
Yeah?
say it. That one's my favorite. I mean, I definitely see that coming from someone that's been through a toxic relationship.
I was going to say he likes it because he's got a crazy.
No, I got it because I was crazy for staying with my ex. Okay, let's be honest here.
That's exactly what this song's about, you know.
Them poor choices that we think and want to blame everybody else for. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Nope, it's all you. You got.
Gotta own them. Well,
Yeah, this
Kimberly,
one's even more fun to play live. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I bet. Well, and that's another thing too. Well, obviously, like you're not recording these with your band that you're playing out with, and I'm sure your band kind of rotates in and out because you travel far and wide to play. So, talk a little bit because the same thing with me. Like the guys that are on my record that I just released, like aren't the guys that I've never, I've played a show with a few of them, but never together. Right. And talk about how much the songs change either from like, from the recorded versions to bringing them out. Like, do you feel like there's been times you perform them live where it was like, damn, I wish that's how it sounded like on the record?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Like, I think this one is the one that fluctuates the most, and I let it happen because when I wrote this initially, I felt it more of like a laid back kind of bluesy groove, and I like to see how my musicians take it, in their way too, and it always kind of finds its way back into a little bit more of that same groove. It still has a really cool energy about it. But no, this one's a lot of fun. I still have that rock flavor in there, but definitely more bluesy.
What's a harder band to lead? A rock band or the army band?
A civilian band for sure. Because army people know what to do, and when they're told to do it, they do it, and they are very regimented, and they don't ask questions. You
are the boss unequivocally when you're
I have
leading
a great team. I mean, I love my bandmates, I really do, but man, especially when they're in multiple bands themselves and just trying to line up the schedules, that's the hardest thing. It really is,
Well, and it definitely feels like in the Midwest that it's hard to get away from that with the, the lack of really talented people. When you find talented people, you'd like to keep them to yourselves, but understanding that, with you have commitments. You're not playing every weekend, right? And for guys that want to play every single weekend, they're either going to, find a group that keeps them that busy, or they're going to play in multiple. And that's kind of where I got to the point where I was like, look, I'm going to end up just being the hired gun for my own band is, instead of trying to work around everyone's schedule, it's just a matter of like, well, I'm going to play the shows regardless of who's behind me. I will find someone, and being in this business for 25 years, I had a fairly large network that it was easier to put that together than to deal with trying to match up somebody else's schedule or just almost dealing with new personalities. A lot of times was easier than dealing with the same personalities time and time again. I don't know if I assume it's probably a little bit different for a female band leader such as yourself, because once you kind of get comfortable with a certain group of guys that, because most of your musicians are going to be men as well, no different than your military life, but it's that
doesn't really bother me, and I don't ever think of it in that way. I'm female and you're a bunch of men. That's never been something that's been uncomfortable for me or have received any sort of disrespect in that regard. But I have noticed that shift in bands, and how I feel like back in the day, it was like you have your core members and you are a band and that's it. But it's definitely become more and more common to just be, like you said, the hired gun and, just kind of floating. And that was really, really uncomfortable for me, just starting out and having to switch players. It's a trust thing. It's a trust thing because I'm an over-preparer, and I want to make sure that I'm playing with other musicians that prepare just as much as I do on the backside. And we played every show in the last 2 years without a rehearsal. We just get up and play the show. So you have to know your stuff. And so that was something I had to overcome trust-wise.
Well, if you're ever in Missouri, I'd love to run sound for you.
Sounds good. I will get your contact.
Yeah, well, and Willie's actually putting together a couple of big festivals, and the benefactors of those will be Operation Combating Veteran Suicide. I think it would be really cool to have you down in Missouri to help us out with some of these and to perform, whether it's solo or with the band. I think that would be really cool too. So we'll talk a little bit more off camera and over the next, probably wait for you to get back from some of your long trips that you'll be taking in the next few weeks, but maybe after the holidays we can catch up and get you dialed into some cool stuff.
Yeah. And I'd love to have you on my show as well.
Definitely. Yep. Wait until this month is over and then let's talk.
Hey,
right.
I'll be here. I ain't going nowhere.
Okay. Sounds good.
Bubba won't let me quit at this point. He tells me no.
No, well, because I need someone to keep me motivated to keep waking up every day. I'm so tired, and I'm like, is this worth it? Like, is it worth it if nobody pays you to be here and to keep doing it? Like, would you keep doing this if no one was paying you? Right. And I'm looking back the last few weeks of my life was like, well, almost nobody paid me to do this. And it was the greatest experience that I've ever had in music. And just in I mean, minus like kids being born and, getting married, I mean, right up there. And as far as a whole 2 weeks, so many things had to go absolutely perfect for me to do the entire trip and to return home in perfect timing. It was incredible. I think it's going to take me a month. It's going to take me the rest of the year to like fully absorb what we did for ourselves in our career in that time. And, I'm already starting to change my mentality around a lot of things. And unlike you, I'm a chronic underpreparer and cram the night before the test or, produce it immediately on stage. I need people to show up that are just ready to go with the flow and are not going to get bent out of shape because we may be unprepared in certain things. And that's why me and Willie get along great. Is because neither one of us are doing our homework.
Oh,
correction, sir. I do homework now.
That's great. Well, it sounds like Willie's boss is yelling at him. Kimberly, I know you got even more stuff to do this evening. I appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us and sharing your music with us. I feel like I learned even more about you on the show tonight than I did even getting to spend some time just one-on-one and having you on an interview before. So I feel like it's different for musicians when you have their music on with them and it's not just a conversation. Like now you have to, bring your kids with you to the party and now you have to speak for them.
This is, no, it's been a great experience and I hope you like the songs and you can find them on all streaming platforms. I will plug myself right there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I actually, I forgot to run this the entire time, but there you go. Feel free to plug away and to mention your website and show dates and things. This is live on YouTube, so you don't have to worry about sharing anything that's coming up here soon.
Yeah. Yep. So you can find me KimberlyMeyerMusic.com. I've got schedules, bios, everything that you need up there, links to the music. But yep, everything that you heard today is on any streaming platform, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, all that. And I'm on the social platforms, Facebook and Instagram. Again, Kimberly Meyer Music.
We need more iconic freaking photos like this one.
I know. I'm pretty proud of that one too.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
Thank you.
That really is.
Yeah.
Yep,
need
my
more of that.
photographer captured my vision perfectly on that one. So
Awesome.
shout out to Seth.
And one thing I think that's gone a little bit unheralded with us is that it seems like you got a really awesome team around you, from your bandmates through your producers and photographers around you. It seems like you have a lot of great people that are able to take these huge visions that you have inside of your head and to bring them to life. So it gives you the freedom to pursue some other hobbies. And you're very busy with your military career and your service, and running a much larger band, right? Like, I'm sure that work follows you home. It's not like your responsibilities to the 147th.
Yes.
And when you clock out for the weekend, right? Like,
there's no clocking out. No, as I was doing emails and signing documents and, planning for our next missions and stuff. And I'm not getting paid for that either right now. So I get it.
Yeah. No, well, you inspire me to keep on going in everything that I'm doing. I mean it when I say I feel busy until I see your life and I'm like, oh, you actually have quite a bit of room for other things. And you could be doing more. And I'm not, working necessarily in service of our country, although we are trying to do our part with, Operation Combating Veteran Suicide and everything we can there to help our heroes when they come back home and when they discharge. But I appreciate you so much. I was glad you scheduled in for this week, being Veterans Day week. And it was great to spend some time with you again, friend.
That's right.
It was great meeting you.
You as well. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. All right. Well, and for everyone else, we appreciate you tuning in with us every week and being a part of the scene. It's going to continue to grow and get better and better. We want to thank Kimberly Meyer Music for joining us tonight. My co-host, Wild Willie, even though he was a few minutes late, we're going to give him a lot of grace because it's not easy raising babies on your own and building houses and doing all the things. So love you, brother. Thanks for swooping in tonight. I appreciate the backup because I feel like I'm about to fall out of my chair. So
love you too, buddy.
We love you all. Have a great night, and we will see you next week on Love Noise.